Hello again. Welcome to today's webinar. I haven't introduced myself, so I'm Lenka Kleger, and I coordinate the Phenology campaign. I work at the Global Program Europe and Eurasia office, together with Dana Votapkova, who is here with us as well, and with Bára Semeráková, who will be a lecturer and main speaker of today's webinar. Thank you, Bára, for this. And I'm really happy that you found time to be here with us today and to find out more about data entry and visualization. It's actually a very important part of our campaign, because it's a great opportunity how to let know others about results of your observation, how to share your data to other schools, but also to scientists who use them for their research. And also, it's a good opportunity for you, because once you enter the data, you can do interesting things with them. You can create graphs and visualize your data, which is also something that Bára will explain. And the last thing that we will talk today about is how to create and use student accounts. And I think it's something that is very useful at this time when, as I hear from many of you, you can't really meet and go outside together with your students. So often each of the students observe his or her own tree. So this is a good way how to allow students to also work with the data, and so that the students don't have to send it to you. You don't have to enter the data for the student, but they can do it themselves. So it's also something that Bára will talk about. And in the second part, there will be time for your questions, for your comments. And it can be a question and comments either about the topics that Bára will talk about, or general ones. Maybe you have some questions, doubts, or comments about the activities in the Phenology campaign. So we can talk also about this, not only about the data. So thank you once more for being here today, and I give word to Bára.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Hello. So thank you, Lenka, for the introduction. I hope you can hear me well. And you already know what is the topic of our webinar and what parts of the data entry and visualization we will go through. So I have a presentation, because if I do it directly on the Globe website, it will be perhaps slow, together with also Zoom running on my computer. But if you feel like you want to see directly how to do it on the Globe website, we can always, I can always try to do it, like to go there and to, do it step by step, the way that how you would do that. And perhaps before we start, I will just share to the chat the links where you can find the tutorials in English to what we are going to do. You can always download these tutorials through Globe website. So either you will see directly a video on the Globe website where you can see all this step by step, or you can download the PowerPoint presentation from the same site. So I will, give me just a few seconds and I will share the links. I have the links also in my presentation, but since you will not be able to click on that when I will be presenting, I think it's better that you have it even before that, so that you can perhaps look at it or download the presentation. So the first one is how to create students' accounts. And this you will download here. Then there is a general presentation on data entry. Okay, I'm not sure now if this is, yes. And data entry, it's this one. And there is one more. And there is one more which is specifically on this process when you are setting up your data site, which is the first step that you have to do always before you're entering the data. If you don't have yet your site created online on Glow website, you first have to do that. So we will go through all this today, just in case you want to download these things or you want to check this, the part of the website where you can find these tutorials. You can do it anytime during the webinar, or you copy these links. I mean, you open it in your browser, then you copy it to your own document or to the email or any other place you want to have it. And I could see that there were some questions in the registration form, but I'm not sure if actually the people who ask if they are with us today. Like, I think we don't have that member from Greece, right? Tassos.
No, he's not here.
Okay, he had two questions which were very specific to, so I think we can skip it for now. Yeah. And what else we could see is that, like most of you, you said that you already entered the data and you also did the visualization of the data already. So I think you are like quite experienced members here. So I will do the presentation a little bit more quick than usually. And if you want me to slow down, just type it to the chat or just say that you want to stop or you have some question. And then there are a couple of people who enter data, but they never work with the visualization. So perhaps we can look more on the visualization. And but first of all, we will start with the students' accounts, because Lenka said that there were many questions on that for last like 3 months of the campaign. So let's start with that. Or is there any other question right in the beginning, or any comment what you would like to do today? Okay, if not, then I'm sharing the screen. Let's start. Good, so now you can see, you should see the presentation. Okay, it's just start from the beginning, because we are at the end. Good. So we do this webinar like every year, and the aim is to help you with, or to motivate you a little bit more to enter the data. Lenka already said what we will be doing today, so I will just start with part 1 with student accounts. What, just need to, okay. So I already shared the tutorial. This is the same link that I shared in the chat. And if you want to get there, you go through Get Trained using the Glow website and creating student accounts. Here you have also the list of other tutorials that you will find in the same place. And now why we should do the student accounts? It's because the students can enter the data on behalf of the teacher, right? You have your own teacher's account, which you use for entering the data. And I know that some teachers, they also allow students to log in through the teacher's account to Globe website and to enter data. This is something that we don't really advise. It's not really that much recommended, or it should not be really allowed, because you as a teacher, you have many more capabilities on the website. And if the student, for example, doesn't know and by mistake makes some edits there, and you will not even get to know. So if you want students to enter the data, please don't give them the access to your account, which means your email and your password, but create the student account for them. And the student account, it's something which is very simple. It's not the full access to the Globe website, and it allows students to do only a few things. So one of that is enter the data. Second is to post comments and questions to the forums, which can come handy for you for the Phenology discussion forum, where you are posting the photos and how it goes in with your tree and with how the leaves are growing and all that. So students can also do that. They can log into Globe website with their account and they can post on this discussion forum. So if you are tired of, posting there and uploading pictures, and you want to delegate this to students, this you can also do if you create a student's account. And we already have students who are actually posting on the on discussion forum of Phenology campaign. And then the third thing, what the student can do through the account is to get friends with someone and post on the wall of that someone. And how it works in GlobeGov, like everyone can friend someone and then type something on the wall. It's very similar like Facebook, but obviously it's not that interactive, it's not that cool, it's not that flexible. It basically, this is basically used if you want to say, if you want to get to know someone from Globe and you want to connect to that person. For example, you want to start a project together. So this kind of friend function is for that. So that that person knows that someone is interested in what they do and they can respond to you. Because if that person makes you a friend, then you can send email to that person. Otherwise, you won't be seeing emails of people who are on Globe website. So nobody can see your email unless you make a friend of that person. So these are the three options that the students can do: enter data, post on discussion forums, and friend someone. And if you have more students or more classes that you work with, you can create a student account for each of these groups. You can, one teacher can have up to 50 student accounts running at the same time, so which is quite a good number. And what we recommend is actually not to give a single student account to a single student, but to create a student account always for a group of your students. So for example, if I have a class which is working on Globe in the geography lesson, for example, that I teach, then I will call that account Geography Student 2021, for example, and I will create this kind of account. I will add the password, and then I will share it with the whole class. I mean, or with the group that is working with Globe, for example, some group that works on Globe project. And any of the students who will have this access, they can enter data through this account. So the account is not really like a personal account, but it's more like a general student account that you can use either for a class or for a group of students, or if you want to divide your class to, for example, six groups, and each group is working on a specific Globe project. For example, you can create 6 students accounts so that each group has their own student accounts. So that they will have different kind of account or let's say email address and the password. And that email address which you create, I will show you that later how to do that. This is something that it's like, how to say it? It's like a fictitious email address, right? It's not really address that has the personal information about your student, right? There is no name of the student, there is no age, no pictures, nothing. So this is the policy of Globe, that they don't want to share any personal information of any student or of any minor publicly. So that's why we don't have like the public pages of any student. Teachers, they have their own page, they can upload picture there and they can write something there about themselves, but students, they don't have this. So there is nothing, basically nothing that the student can do or mess up on the GlobeGov through the student account. Okay, so let's, we'll just stop this. And let's, I will go to the website and just check if it's, yeah. And I will just show you where to find the student account. It's quite easy actually. So if you're at the Globe website, when you sign in, right, you can see my picture here. So I'm already signed in. I'll just make it slightly bigger for you. And since I think January or December, the Globe website is has slightly different interface. So earlier you had this go to my page and all this, you had it on this right upper corner. So now you have the menu here, right? It's called menu, and when you click on it, you have this go to arrow here and this manage arrow here that you were used to have under your photo earlier. So just don't be surprised that it moved to the left. And so either you can use this go to and you can enter data, visualize data, or you can go to your school page here, for example. But what I want to show now is how to get to your personal page, because you can create accounts, the student accounts, through your personal page, which is so-called My Page. So that is still under the photo. So when I click on my photo, or you may have this gray icon there if you don't have any photo, and here the first thing is My Page. So I click on that. It will bring me to my page. There is the organization I work for. There is something written about me. And when I scroll down, you need to scroll down completely. Then here you have view student accounts and how to use student accounts. So, okay, see, somehow it doesn't work for me now, but I will try to do it like this. Yeah, now it works. When I click on that, I have view student account here because I already created some. So they give me the option view. If you haven't created any student account yet, you will have here, I can create student account. So if I click on that, this is the list of the student accounts that I already have. So I have 1, 2, 3. And if I want to create new, I click on this new. If I want to delete some of these that I have, I just use this cross, for example, this one. Okay, I delete it. Okay, it will be working and then it will disappear. And okay, if you want a quick overview how to work or how to use student accounts, you can also click on this. It will give you like a small summary. So as you can see, the website is very slow and it works, still working on deleting that one account. So I think I will just close it and okay, this doesn't really work. So let's just leave it as it is, and hopefully it will do something before the end of our webinar. And in the meantime, I will just show you how you can follow that tutorial. So this is the tutorial that I send you the link to the chat. Okay. And here you have it step by step what I was just showing here on the picture. How to create the name of the student account if you want to use the part of your name of your school, for example, so that it's visible from the student account that it belongs to your school. Or if you want to create your own, you can also do that and call it the way how you want. For example, you can call it, as I had it, I call it just Geography 2021. And then you can also use the display name, but this is just optional. You don't have to fill in anything here, and it will display like student one of, and here will be the name of your account. So for example, in my case, there would be student one of Bára Semeráková. So always the student has some like attribution to the teacher and or to the school. And the last step, which is here, is that you set up a password. This is something that you do, you as a teacher, so you can set any password you want. And just when you are doing it, please always write it down on a piece of paper or into your computer, so that you can then share it with the students, right? If you then if you don't remember it, if you don't have it, then you would have to go again to the settings and again set a new password. So this is the only thing that you should always write it down somewhere, especially if you're creating more than one account in the same time. If you're creating, for example, 6, 10 accounts with different passwords, then it's better that you make a note of it. Okay, this is just what you can see in the presentation after that. And if you go to the end of the presentation, to the page 9, there is a short exercise how to, so you can try it on your own. And there are also some questions, and there are answers to these questions. So this is how you can go through the tutorial. And now I'm just trying to get back to the GlobeGov. I can see that it's still not done. So let me just refresh the page and start new, because okay. Okay, so let's see if it works now. Yes. So I will share it with you once again. Okay, so we are where we were. I will not be doing anything now, like deleting accounts. If I want a new one, then I click on that. And this is what you could see on the presentation. Either I use the part of my organizational email, which is like pre-typed here. So here you would have, for example, the school number 3 from city so-and-so. And if I tick all this, then the email will be very long, right? This would be the email, the student account of that I'm creating. So I'm not going to do that. I don't need this all in the account, right? And I will rather go for this create my own. And here I will type, for example, new project 2021. And this will be, here you see it, that new project 2021 student 4 is the student account. And here I will set some password. And I will re-enter it here. Okay. As you can see, I copied something else there, so it doesn't match, but it should be matching if you just do it slowly and not that fast as I did it. I think I copied something else there. So this is how you create it. Again, this one will tell you in short how to work with the student account. And then the student account comes to the Globe website and signs in the same way as you would sign in. Right? If we are in the Globe website, I will just go to some page where I am not signed in, like this one. So here I'm not signed in. I'm on the Phenology campaign page. So if the students want to do the data entry, he has to click on the sign in and then just sign in with that student account, which I just created, and then with the password. And then it will allow for him to enter the data or to post on the forum. So this is all what is needed. So that was the first part. So are there any questions to this topic? Can you, for example, say if you already use the student accounts, or if you have students who already enter data through their own account? There is a question.
I have a question.
Yes.
I have a student's accounts and I would like to check the information on a forum, Globe forum. Can I easily find all the news?
Would they post it?
Yes. Can I use any key?
Well, this I don't know actually. If you can filter, Lenka, is it possible to do some filtering in the forum?
It is. However, my experience with it is not so good, I have to say. I have a feeling that it's kind of working, not working. There were some changes lately, so it might be better. I can check it for you, but yeah, in the past I haven't used it too much because the option didn't work too well. So, but can you go through like the activity? If you search for the person, not on the forum, but
yeah, okay. I will try to get. I'm just trying to find out if I can actually see it on my page, because I will just try to find it without sharing the page with you. If I collaboration. So I think that it always depends. Okay, I will share my page with you, and let me just try to. I'm not sure because I don't have any real student accounts, right? These students accounts that I have, these are just for these training purposes. I don't really have any students who would be entering data, so I cannot really show you the real thing. But let's just suppose that I have the students. So now you can see my, I show you how to go to my page like this, right? And here you have collaboration, blog, and member activities. So the thing when I was talking about that the student can be a friend of someone, then this is the one option how you can follow what the students are actually doing on GlobeWolf. That you make them your friends, right? Or when they log in, they should be like your friends. So then you will, if you scroll down here, you see that in my friends, it's actually by default, but that my friends are here, and it's the student 2 of me and student 3 of me, right? So I have them here, these 2 students accounts that I created. So they are automatically in my friends. And if they, for example, post something on forum or upload data, it should be visible here in this friends activity. So these are my friends activities, but because I have so many other people here on my list, right?
Yes.
You will not be able to see any student. But if you have just like a couple of people here and among them your students, then you would see it here that, for example, yesterday, student 2 posted on the forum. And then I think you would be able to track it like this. However, I'm not sure if you will be able to click on it and see what they posted. I don't know if there will be directly the link.
So I tried.
Yeah, you tried. I will just, here you can also see how it looks like the student kind of page, which is not really any public page. So if you click on the student account, this is all what you can see. Okay, I will try to see. Perhaps it will be also here directly on the student's account page. Perhaps there will be the activities that the student was doing, but I'm not really sure.
Yes, if I can step in.
Yes,
I have to say this is the way I usually do if I want to. It's working better than the filtration in the discussion forum. So if it was me, I would just try the upper bar with the search bar of Globe website and enter there the student's name, and then it shows you the side of the student, and then I go to member activities where you can see student 1 contributed to the forum.
Yeah, and I really recommend to do it because the students really, they are under your account, the students' accounts, right? So if I go back again to my page, I will do it once again, my page, and then I have this collaboration, right? And then I have the friends, and through this I can get to the student account pages like this. If I click on it, I am there. If I go back, I click on the other one.
And I tried.
Yeah, so it should work like this. And
I also look at my organization, in a part my organization, and I find there only old students, not students who cooperate with me now, because they didn't send any data, maybe, but they are active on Phenology forum.
But you should be, it depends, like if it's the student really with the student account that you created, you should be seeing them on this page, on your page, right? And this is how you can see them, how many you have. Because if you go through this, if you go to this view students account, this is the list of all the active accounts that you have,
it is.
right? And if you don't want to use any of these, you can always delete it, as I was showing through this. And you can always create new one. So it's like you are the administrator of the student accounts. So if you have new students, you can create new account for them, or you can give them the access and the password of the already existing one. It's up to you how you will do that. Yes. And there was also the question, I think there was another question in the chat. Where I have to check. Yeah, Yitka is asking how can I find out the name of the student? There is written student one, and I forget who was it. Yeah, this is exactly what I was saying, that some things you just need to write down on a piece of paper, because in the Globe website, you cannot store the personal information of the student. So you will never have there that student one is, for example, Lenka Kleger. Right, there will be never any names of students. So Globe website will not do it for you. You will not be able to find it anywhere. You need to find it in your own notebook or in your own document on your computer where you write it down. So for example, if I create a student account, which is called student one, then I write down here that student one is, for example, the group of John and George and Anna and Maria, and this is, they have this student account which is called student one, right? So this is the only way how you can find it out later on, that you will go back to your notes and you will find it out. And so you should keep track on to whom actually you give this account and the password. This is like your responsibility. This is not on Globe website. So this you keep please in your records, in your teacher's book, or I don't know, somewhere, or on the board in your class, or yeah, any other way that is comfortable for you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. And good. There is another question. Yeah. So okay, we have Athanasios, who had the questions. I was talking about you, Athanasios. Hello, that you had the questions, but you were not in the beginning of the webinar. So, okay, there is obviously the citizens scientists. They have a limited account, and so that they can at least do something, right? They don't have the full teacher's account. But if you want to become like a fully trained member, right, and you want to have the full Globe account, so that you can actually do the collaboration with others through this friend option, or you want to use many other options that you have as a teacher with the teacher's account, you can just do the Globe e-training, which is online, and you can just change the account to the teacher's account by becoming trained and by adding some organization to your account. So I know that you are not under any official organization, but for example, you can always have an organization, even if you call it, I don't know, Volunteer for Globe or family organization or something like that. So if you really want a full Globe account, I think we can manage to do that if you would feel much more comfortable for the Phenology campaign, because I know that you're in the campaign already for some time and you're very active. So Lenka, I think that would be possible to do for Athanasius. So that's, and then I know that there was some specific question that you had regarding that you cannot see any pictures. But I think this we perhaps solve like out of this webinar, because I don't know exactly what trouble is that. Okay, so I can stop sharing this. So any other questions to the student accounts? You can see that that was a topic that some of you were really curious about. So, okay, let's just go, let's continue in the main topic of our webinar. Yeah, we'll continue in the presentation in a while. It works, yes. So So we covered the student accounts, and now let's go to the visualization. So this is how it looks like if you are already in the visualization system. And I'm always showing examples of some nice graphs, which means examples from the schools who that enter provides some number of data so that you can actually see something on the graph. So for example, this is a school from Ukraine, or not really school, but a young naturalist station in Rivne. And here in the background, you can see the map. So the visualization is basically a map. And this is just a detail that you can get from the map. If you click on one of those points, let's just change the pointer so that you can see it. So these points are globe schools that do phenology and that enter the data. And if you click on any of those, you will get this kind of close-up with the data, if they have any. If they don't, then you will get just a note that there is no data to be displayed. So what you can see on this detail, here, this is the most important part. This is the graph. The graph is quite small, but if you want to enlarge it, you can always click on this zoom. On the zoom, and it will get bigger. I will show you that later as well. And what else? What we can see is this is the basic information about the study site. So what species they have and some important dates, which you can see it also in the graph, but here you see it better, right? Here you have the exact dates. And what is also important here is the sites. So as I was saying, you always need to have a study site first before entering the data. And study site, one school can have more than one study site, right? For example, one school is having one site where they have the meteorological shelter in the school garden. So that can be one site. And then, for example, they have trees, they have their tree in the park, which is 500 meters from the school. So then they have a site number 2. Then they have a stream, which is 1 kilometer from the school, and this can be a site number 3. So one school can have actually more sites. And if you want to flip through different sites, you have these arrows here. So here you can see that we are on the site number 2 from 4. And what else we can see is that we also have differentiation by the leaf. So you know that we observe 4 leaves in phenology, or 4 buds. And we can get some kind of average graph or average values, and we can also get the values for each and every leaf. So this is how it looks like when you enlarge the graph. And again, here you can read the most important information that you need, which is the species, which is the date, the name of the school, it's also here. And then here you have the legend. So this black one means that they mark it dormant still. The yellowish one, the scent color, is that it was swelling the bud. This darker brown is that it was a bud burst. And the green ones, it means that there was already a leaf. And you can see that now we are going up from this 0 point, which means that the leaf was growing. So here you have the millimeters. And here you can see that the leaf was no more growing, and that's why perhaps they stopped the observation, because it was already half May. So that's how you can enlarge the graph. And what else you can do with the graph? You can print it out by clicking on this printer. It will make a PDF for you, which you can save or print out. Or you can get a link directly to this graph that you can send by email or share via social media, or post on your website or post on the forum. So that's quite nice. You don't have to like make a print screen and copy it somewhere. You can just click on this, it will give you the link and you can share it directly on the forum. So that's kind of a shortcut. Okay. Now the presentation doesn't want to go anywhere. So yeah. So this is just for the what is actually the purpose why we are working with the graphs. So I'm showing you another graph of the same tree. It's the birch tree from another school, which is also in Ukraine, but in some other area, or perhaps in some other altitude. And you can see that the date of bud burst, here they have April the 1st, and in the previous one, it was April 17th. So you can see that the bud burst was almost like 2.5 weeks earlier at this site than the previous one. And that's exactly the point where you can, your students can try to find out why it was like this. They can find out the facts about the location, about the tree, what are the conditions if the tree, as if it's in the city or if it's out of the city, what was the weather in that place, what was the weather in the other place. So this is all a very nice exploration that you can do with the students, and for what the visualization is really nice. If you're interested in some particular tree species of the Phenology campaign, you can filter out the species, only the schools who have those species. Otherwise, if you come for the first time to the visualization, you will see all of them, like the schools that upload any green up data or green down data in the autumn. But here you have also the filtering. So it's the many, if you go, if you click on this, which is the protocol layers, here you will get the species. And here you can either click all of them, or you just select whichever you want. So for example, here I had selected the fig tree. And this is another example of the graph from Croatia, how they were observing the fig tree. And what else we can see here is this small spreadsheet sign. So if you click on that, you will get the data, all the data for that school, for that site that you selected for that fig tree in the spreadsheet like this. So it's a big spreadsheet that you can download, you can export through this to the CSV file. You can also filter here which rows you actually want to have there. You don't need to display all of that. For example, if you don't need to have the elevation there, you can just click it out here, and you will not have it on the spreadsheet. So it's up to you, or you can download it all and then delete it in Excel. Just want to check if, yeah, there is one more thing that I didn't say anything about, which is the legend of the whole map. We already talked about the legend of the graph, which is this one, what you can see here. But the legend of the map is how, what colors you can see on these small points. So basically the legend is that the color shows you the date of the tree or shrub bud burst. So the colors, if this was an, for example, air temperature, that the colors would go, for example, from the cold one to very hot one, from blue to red. So there would be like a gradual scale. But because here we cannot display any specific number or any scale, right? Because for example, you have more leaves, they are long in a different way. So it doesn't really make sense because you have many different species, that it doesn't make sense to have some scale for the length of the leaf, for example. So that the only scale that we have is the date of the bud burst. And according to the colors, the week of the month, you can see how these colors are changing. For the peak season, which is from January till May, the month is divided into four, or is it four? Yeah, into four slots. So you can guess that it's more or less always like a week and something. So this is the first week of January, second week of January, and so on. And after that, from June to December, the colors are just like this, because it's supposed that actually there will be no bud burst in those dates. That would be tracked by GLOBE students, because the bud burst season is from January till May in our world region, in our continent. So basically, those colors are the colors that you can see on the map. So we talk about this. Just see, yeah, here is the legend, and here you can see the diversity of the colors. So as you can see that here, the most of the bud burst was happening in April in our region. But as you go more south, you see that there is more color of March and even some February below that. And if you go more up, you see more bud burst, which is happening in May or in the late April, these dark red colors. And as you can see, there is also one purple violet one, which will be some October. And this is either a mistake or it's some kind of bud burst which was observed as some anomaly which happened, for example, in October because of very hot weather or something like that. But what we skipped, if I go back to the presentation, we skipped this one. What else you can see here? So I already showed you that you can get the spreadsheet, that you can enlarge the graph. Yeah, there is one more option. If you go over the graph, you will see exactly the value and the date. And we already talked about this information. And here there is one more spreadsheet that you can open, and this will give you more data. This will be all the data for not only for this site, but I think it's all the data, not only for the green app, but for the other protocols that you have as well. And if you want to go to the school page, for example, to find out from which country the school is, or which is the location of the school, or who is the teacher, or what is the name of the teacher, or how many students they have, you can click on this symbol and you will get to the public page of that school on GLOBE website. And now how to work with the visualization. So for that, I would stop it and I will try to go there. Perhaps it's slightly more we'll try it if the internet is okay for that. So the very if you are already on the page of European Phenology campaign, then you can go fast through this hour measurements and you can go to visualization like this. If you're not, then from the GLOBE program homepage, you have also visualization button there, or you can go to GLOBE data and visualize data. So there are many ways how you get to visualization system, and I will get there fast like this. It always opens in another window. Okay, but now it's not taking me there, so perhaps I didn't click on the right place. That's strange. Okay, so I will do it the other way around. So this is how it looks like when you come there for the first time. You can see that I'm not signed in on this page. So even students or parents or your colleagues who are not signed in, who don't have the Globe account, they can see the visualization, they can work with that. That's a great advantage. This is a tool which is really public. And so what to do now? What you can see, you see the map, you see some date here. You basically don't see anything on the map. And so what to do? So what you can do is to, if you really don't know what to do and how to work with that, you can see the quick tutorial, which will tell you what to do. Select which data to plot, and so on. It's like animation which goes step by step. I'm not doing anything now, it just goes on its own. And once it's done, I think now this is the last one. Yeah. You can just go back there and you can try to do it. So they were saying, select the layer, which is these are the layers. You select what you want. So we want green up and green down, which is under biosphere, because it's the trees. You can see it here, green up, green down. So I'll click on that. I tag it, and you need to click on submit also. It's not enough to click on this, you need to confirm it. And now we can see that we have the data. Suddenly we see something on the map, and this is exactly what I was talking about, following that legend. And now I cannot see the legend. So what I will do, I will look around and the legend is hiding here. So the legend you can always hide and expand like this. The same here, hide and expand. And as I said, here in the green up, so this is the layer of the green up. Here I can see the dates, again, February, March, some April ones. And I can see all the species of the campaign, and perhaps even some other species that are not in the campaign. But if I want, for example, only the birch, then I click on birch, and then I need to confirm it here again, update. And now you can see that some disappeared. The schools that do not observe birch, they disappeared from the map, and I have just the schools that observe birch. And then I work with the map the same way like with any other map. So I can zoom in, I can move it like this. So I can, for example, check, and this is the detail that we get. And we are in Czech Republic, in Otrokovice, and we can see that they have the birch, Betulapentula, and they have two sites. Let's see if they have something on the other side as well. Yes. So they have some data they have. You can see that there is some kind of, we don't know what is it, if it's some error that first there was a leaf and then there was a bud burst. This can always happen. For example, if you mistype the date, or you can correct always this thing. If you come to know that there is something like this, you can always correct it later on in your data entry, not here. Here, what you can see in graphs in visualization, here you cannot edit anything. This is fixed. This is what is loaded from the database, from the records in the database. So here you cannot change any of your records or any of someone else's records. This is what you can just see. It's just for viewing. So there is some other school in Croatia. You can see that they have also birch, and they have 5 sites. So I will just click like this, so that here they did not observe it, I think, after that. Yeah, there is one more. And here again, as I said, you can enlarge it. You can get the link. You can copy the link. You can get the PDF like this. You can just click on that and you can get the spreadsheet. As you can see, you have so many rows here. If you don't want some of these, then I can for example, do this, and I will get half the spreadsheet. You can see how it's getting thinner and thinner from one side. Right? And I don't want any of these. And the last that will be here will be the school name. So you can work like this and choose any school, any location you want to look at. You can go to very detail. So even if there are more schools or more sites in one city, for example, you can always get to that one that you want. For example, if you know that you want. Yeah, now I lost all of it. Yeah, it's here. So here you can see that in Karlovac, there are 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. And each of these trees had bud bursts in other week. You can see these, perhaps they are the same week, the first week of February, but this one was before that, and this one was after that. So you can see that the colors are slightly different. So I think that's, then there are also, what else you can do in the visualization. This you can do, you can try out yourself. There are some other things in the menu. So you can do filtering. For example, if you want to filter out some site that you know the teacher. For example, I want a teacher from Bratislava and I know his name, then I will type the teacher's name here and it will go there to that site of that teacher or the school. Or I can do the multiple selection or multiple filtering. And this I can do, for example, also by drawing on the map. So for example, if I go up and I will say that, for example, I want all the schools, if there will be some data in future, and for example, I would like to compare the data from Slovenia and from Croatia, then I can draw the line on the map by turning on this tool, and I can somehow draw I will draw it just like this, that I want, for example, this area, the north of Croatia and the Slovenia. And then I have the area. If I go up, if I zoom out, you see that all the other schools disappeared, and I just got the selection of those. And then I can work with this selection any way I want, and then I can remove it again. Or I can find the place by latitude and longitude, or by place. For example, if I'm looking for a place which is nearby, which is in a specific country, or which is along some river, and here you can put the perimeter. If I want all the places which are, for example, 20 kilometers from some specific river, then I will type the name of the river here and 20 kilometers here. So these are some additional functions that you have in globe visualization, and they are very much common they are very much similar to any other map that you would have. So working with the map, filtering options, and so on. So I will stop sharing now. I'll just, yeah. So do we have any questions? Okay, so let's go to the data entry then. I'm just thinking if I will perhaps show you one more way how you can get to the visualization tool. Okay, I will share my screen where I am signed in. Okay, choose this one. So if you are in the home page, if you just sign in and you are in the home page, you would see again through this menu, which is here. Okay, the page is going very slowly now. But anyways, if you click on this go to, here you have enter data and visualize data. So if you click on visualize data, it should bring you to the visualization and you should see the data. It should bring you to your data actually. And here you have also the shortcut for the entering data. So let's go there now to this data entry. And so this is this page. I believe that you have seen, all of you. It does not look like you know, any like fancy page. It's just very empty, no pictures, nothing. It's really just the page for entering data. Here is my name. So it means that I'm signed in and I can enter the data. If you're not signed in, you will not be able to get to this page. And here, what is important, that the school name of your school will be always here. For me, it's Teresa Educational Center. It's the name of my organization. And now I cannot see anything, but so it looks like I don't have any sites, but I actually have the sites. They are just hiding under this plus. So the sites means the study sites. So if I open it like this, now you can see that we have quite a lot of sites here, most of them for the training purpose, not really for the real data entry. But if it happens that you are a new one and you don't have any sites, you can always add new site by this right click by this icon on the right. So before I will show you how to add a new site. Let's just see how it looks like when you already have the site. So I have a site of Phenology here. And this is just an overview. And what I can do, I can edit or delete the site, which I can do later. But now, for example, I want to enter the data, or your student want to enter the data. So the student should see the same. Students should see all the sites that you have in your school, and they should be able to add a new observation, which means to enter the data. So here you can see in this site, which is called Phenology, I can enter greening, which is green up and green down, or land cover, or there are also Phenology gardens. So I will select the new observations. And that's all you will see. You can still check it, that you have your school, the correct site, and the correct protocol. For example, I want to enter data for Monday, so I will check this date. So you're always starting with selecting the date. And now you see that something else appeared here. When you see the asterisk, this is the required field, which means that you have to select something. If you don't have the asterisk there, you don't have to fill anything, or you can just fill what if you want to fill it. So here you see green down, green up, so green up. And growing season cycle number is 1 in our region. We have only 1 vegetation season. And here I would be filling, this is the school tree one. So for example, if you name your tree, for example, birch in the park, you will have birch in the park here. And here we have 4 leaves. So here I would select if it's dormant, or if it's swelling, or if there is bud burst. And if I select that there is length measurable, which means the leaf length measurable, then I have to fill in also like 10 millimeters, for example. I can also add some comments if I want. And if I have more trees at the same site, which I have here, then I can do the same for the other tree as well. And then the last thing is send data. So I will not be doing it now because I don't want this to go to the database since it's not the real data. And I will go back to the site, to the data entry home where I was. And if you want to check the past observations, if you want to check, for example, what data is entered there already or what students had entered, then you can go on this past observations. And then if I change the date from last year till today, so for 1 year, I still don't have anything now because this is just really the training one. But for you, you will get the list of the data. Let me just try that perhaps something will be there. No. So I think I deleted all the data from here because they were not the real data, just the training ones. But you will get the list and then you would be able to either delete it or to edit it if there would be some mistake. And here, this is the place where you are either editing your site or when you are creating the new site. So as you can see, I told you my site is called Phenology 2018. I already have the coordinates. If you don't have the coordinates, you just move the map and you go around, you zoom in so that you come really to that place where you want to have your site. Right, I will not be doing it now because I will cancel it later on. And here you can see that I have the greening, which is green up and green down. I have it ticked here. And I already have 2 plants here. One is called School Tree 1 and the other one is School Tree 2. And one is Tilia, which is lime tree, and the other is birch. If I want to change anything here, for example, I want to add one more tree. Like this year, I decided that I would be observing not only lime tree and birch tree, but also, for example, oak tree, which is in the same park, very close to these 2 trees. So I have to click on this edit. And first, they asked me, comment about your changes is required to edit this section. So they basically asked me, why are you changing this? So I can just write down, in 2021, I want to observe one more tree. Or you can just type anything you want there. And then I see what I have here. And if I want one more, that I should have to click on this add plant. And again, I have vegetation type, so it's a tree. Here I will find the oak tree, which is the Quercus. It should be the Latin name always. And here you see that we have so many oak trees all around the world. So it's better that you again search for the type that you want and you select it from the list. And then I can just label it the way I want. So I can even call it in my own language, which would be like this. For example, the oak in the park. And that's it. And now I have to confirm all this, right? So that it's safe, it got safe. And that is this blue update site. I will not be doing it now because I don't have any tree there and I don't want to add one, but you should not always forget to click on this update site. I will now reset that. So I have it the way that I started with. So this is basically the way how you are adding or editing the site. It's actually the same one, edit site, that's what we did right now. And if I add site, it takes me there as well, but everything will be empty. So you're actually adding one more site, which means you need to again do the stuff since the beginning. You need to find the coordinates, you need to put the name, you need to click which protocols you want to do on this site. And once you do that, it will pop up here. So once I do greening, I'm getting this, and I can do the add plant, right? So this is how you create site or how you edit your site that you already have.
Can I have a question?
Yes, sure.
I have 15 students and 15 new sites. Is it necessary I made the new sites, or is it possible to make by students by their own students account?
I don't know, actually. This, I don't know. I think you can try it because theoretically, I think they should be allowed to create site if they are allowed to do the data entry. But actually, I never tried that. Yeah, so perhaps you can try that and then tell us if it works or not. But I think if once they can get into data entry, they can see everything that you can see. They should be also able to see these icons and to be able to edit the site or edit the site. So
I beg your pardon, I make troubles. What I
no,
tried.
no, it's not a trouble, but I think they should be able. If it does not work, then we can try to investigate why it does not work.
I tried.
Yeah. But it's a good question actually, because but why not, right? Why? I think they should be able to do that. And
I want to, if I can, Bara?
Yes.
Yes, can I for a second? Bara was explaining that you can, for each tree, you can create a new site, or you can add more trees to one site. So I just want to mention that both options are fine. So in case that you are, for example, not sure whether the trees are like close enough to be described as a one site, if the coordinates would be the same for them, it's definitely better to create more sites, like separate sites for each tree. But at the same time, you can, if the trees are nearby, really, you can put them all together into one site. So both options are possible, both are fine.
Yeah. Okay, so I will. You can ask questions in the meantime. I will just go back to the presentation just to make sure that we did not skip anything important.
We have Anna Maria, if we can watch the recorded video. So I will just answer that quickly. Yes, definitely we recording this now, and it will be available at the webinars section of the Phenology campaign website. So you will see the recording as well as the presentation from Bara. It will be there in a few days.
Yeah, thank you, Lenka. So what I want to say also is, I think you know that already, but if for some reason, for example, with students or with your new colleague, if you want to practice the data entry, you can always use this training data entry, where you can train, you can try things, and you don't have to be afraid that some nonsense data will go to the database. So how to get there? You go to Globe Data, data entry, and here you have training data entry. And what you will see will look exactly like your normal data entry. So you will again see that page where you will have your organization, some sites, or you will create new site, but it's just a training. So which means the data doesn't go to the real database, right? These data that you enter to this training data entry, they will get deleted after some time. Nobody can see them. So if you want to practice yourself or with students, with your colleague, you always use this training data entry tool, which you will get through this menu. And if you want to enter the real data, then don't forget to switch from training data entry to the real one, because if you enter any real data through the training data entry tool, then it will never be shown on the map. So be careful not to mess up these two tools. And to the real data entry, the fast way how to get there is if you are again on the main page, you are sign in and you go through this menu on the left, go to enter data. This will take you to the real data entry. So this is what we already covered. And I'm just checking if, yeah, this is the new data, new site. So you have it all in the presentation again, step by step. If you want to go back to it later on after the webinar, you can also do that. We will share this presentation with you as well. If you do any blunder, any mistake, the Flow website will always show you what is missing, what you need to add. Or if you create it successfully, it will give you this kind of green way to go. Okay, this is what I already did on the Flow website, so I will just go through it. Yeah, and this is what I was not able to show you, how it looks like when you want to check your past observations. So it looks like this, that you have the list of the observations. Here it's only one on the list according to the date. And here you can delete it. And if you want to edit the data that you entered on this day, you just click on this and it will open again and you can correct. For example, if there was the wrong number of millimeters or you just made some mistake. So that was all. And here we have again the links that I was sharing to the chat in the beginning, to the tutorials. And then there was one more thing, which is if you cannot send the data or if you cannot enter the data because the Flow website tells you that you don't have the permission to send the data. So either it's because you've never been trained in Phenology and in Green Up or Green Down, or you have been trained, but it's not in the records or in the systems. So for that, you should actually ask the country coordinator. So you should call or email your country coordinator and to try to correct it with the coordinator. And if you've never been trained officially, you can get trained either by attending the training in your country, or you can do the e-training. If, for example, because of COVID or any other situation, there are no trainings in your country, you can do the e-training. So there is a link to the protocol e-training where you select the Green Up and the Green Down e-training. So basically it looks like it's a PowerPoint presentation that you can download. It's nothing complicated. You just read it through, you learn about it, and then you do the assessment test. For that, you need to be signed into Flow website with your account, so that actually when you do the test, it can match to your account that it was you who did the test, and it can mark you as a trained in this protocol. And if you have never been trained in any protocol, then you should also do the e-training, which is called Introduction to Flow, which is another presentation. And if you have any questions regarding the e-training or trainings, you can always contact us if, for example, you don't have the country coordinator who would help you on with this. Otherwise, you contact first the coordinator. So I think that's all for today. Thank you for attention, and we can go back to any topics, any questions that you may have. Or we can just finalize the webinar and you can go and practice later on in your time when you have you can focus more.
I actually use time now. Oh, sorry, Bara.
Yeah, no, you go on.
Pardon, I didn't want to interrupt you. But I used the time now when you were talking, and I was trying to check the answer for Hanka's question, whether students can create a new site. So yes, they can. It works. It worked to me. So unless there are some unexpected problems, it should be possible. So, yeah. Bara, we can't hear you. You're muted.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I know. So one more thing, just if you have the student account, right, you have the kind of address, the account's name, and you have the password, then you just go as you are used to go to the Globe website and you sign in there with the account. You can try it out yourself. If you want to see what students are able to do, you can just sign into the Globe website, not with your account, but with the student's account that you previously created through your account, right? So it seems to be complicated, but it's actually quite easy. So if I am on the website and I'm not signed in, which you already know that you should sign in. So here I enter the student's account, not my address, but for example, that student one geography something, and I will enter the password. And then when I sign in, I'm signing in as a student, and then you will see how it works, what you can do as a student. And then again, you can sign out of that, and you can sign in with your own email to the teacher's account. So you can do the experiment yourself if you want to know what the students can actually do with their account. So that's all. I wanted to encourage you to find out yourself, so that you feel more comfortable and confident when you are explaining it to students. So any other questions or comments? Okay, so Lenka, do you want to say something? Do you have some message or some update from the campaign to everyone?
I have a message, but maybe before I want to give one more chance. If maybe there are no questions to the data entry or to visualization, but if there is something else that you need to know about the campaign, about the activities, about how you measure the leaves and so on. So I will just give one more minute now. So before I come with my message. Well, it seems there are no questions at the moment, but of course, you know my email, you know me, so anytime you need to know something, some questions come to your mind, please let me know, write to me, I will be happy to help you, or Bara if it comes to the question of working with data, because Bara is our expert on this field. And yeah, so at the moment I want to thank Bara for this detailed and very clear explanation. We actually had quite a few nice comments from you that you find it complex and interesting. So I'm very happy that the webinar was useful for you, and I hope it will make it easy for you to work with data that you measured or your students measured. And yeah, I want to invite you to the next webinar, the next Phenology campaign webinar that will be held on June 2nd. And this webinar will be focused on sharing. The next time it will not be us talking, but I hope that some of you or your students, there will be time for you and your students to present your results, your research, or send us some, even if you have some smaller like videos or pictures that you would like to present there, please send it to us. The registration is not open yet, but it will be open within a few days on the campaign website, and I will also send you again a link to register. So this is now just an invitation for you so that you know that you can book the afternoon on June 2nd for either your presentation or being inspired by other schools.
If you manage to create some graphs in visualization, you can also share it in, during that event. So you don't have to prepare some very long presentations, but even if you have one graph that you manage to create from your own data in the visualization, it's a nice example to share. So don't be afraid.
Yeah. One thing that I would like to point out is that the information about visualization and working with data are also part of the activity 4, and there's also a data guide. So you can either follow the presentation by Bara or this webinar, but you can also see a guide that is prepared for you. So there are more ways how to learn about it. Well, okay, so I think that's all from us for today. I hope you had a good time at this webinar, that it was useful for you, and that you will enjoy last weeks of the campaign of your measurements. And I hope to see you on June 2nd.